Okay, 7th grade, welcome to e-learning. A reminder, you need out this packet that we started. We filled out the definition for equation. We might be able to hit up some of these vocabulary words today. Okay, and then we did this side. So let's run through this real quick. We talked about the difference between expressions and equations because we're used to those expressions. Those expressions contain those variables, and the biggest difference was they have no equal sign. There's no equality that we're showing. It's just stating what something is. And then now we're talking about moving towards those equations that do have that equal sign, that do show the quality between different terms, different expressions. And then we looked at how terms are part of it. Okay, so every equation is going to have a certain amount of terms. There's no limit really, and some kind of mathematical operation. Okay, and then we talked about why or why not. Yesterday we kind of said that a couple of these weren't equations because the lack of variable. While that helped us, it's not necessarily like the end-all be-all. What was important was the 15 did not equal 18, so it wasn't an equation because it wasn't equal. That equal, if you see it right there, it needs to be equal. So then we're going to look at things that aren't equal and how they're different than expressions today. Okay? So this is the next page. We're going to skip it for now. And then I'll tell you when we get back to it. So go ahead and turn to this page of mathematical statements. It's going to be a quick review on some of the things, and then we're going to look at what are those statements that are equal called. Okay, so number, symbols, and expression. Number, symbols, and operations that are what? What do you think? Using the definitions we wrote here, what do you think might best go there? They're operations that are grouped together that show the value. So that kind of goes along with when we talked about the variables, which variables can be in our equations, but we just want to show the value of something. But then when we go to solve it, we're most likely heading over to an equation. Okay, so an expression, those are what they are. Let's look at, can you write down an example of expression yourself? Remember, there are those numbers or those statements that have variables in them, or just numbers but no equal sign. So let's see what you come up with. Just write down one or two. Okay, good. If you couldn't come up with someone, you can do some with me. So I'm just going to jot down a couple. 2y minus 8, or 8 less than a number and y. 2 and a number, sorry. It could be as simple as just 5 times x, the product of 5 and a number. Okay? Actually, Miss Cora's right, she doesn't like to use x. So let's do 5 and a number like that. Remember, I don't like to use x as much anymore for my variables because if I'm going quickly, I might just make the mistake of thinking it's multiplication. So I want to stay away from that. Just like we want to use multiplication dots when we can. Okay? So let's do a number plus 3, 10, and a number divided by 4. Okay, all of these are expressions. Doesn't matter how many terms there are, they're expressions. That looks like it equals, but it is just a minus. Sorry about that. No, not showing any equality. Okay, so then let's go over to our equation. So what do you think? A blank sentence. What kind of sentence? We looked right in our notes from yesterday. A mathematical sentence that says two what are what. Okay, remember I just talked about how it's going to say how two expressions are equal. Also for expressions, I'm going to put just like the number 20 or 15. These are expressions as well. It doesn't have to have the variable. Okay, so this is two expressions are equal. The equal sign is used to show, what does that word I kept using over and over again? It includes this in it. Shows equality. Okay? And this is 2 again, 2 or more. Okay? So see if you can come up with an equation. So 2 sides of expressions that are equal. So you can come up with that. Okay? So some examples. Now, I'm basically going to take some of the ones we did over here, but make them an equation. So I'm taking this expression, 2y minus 8, or 8 less than 2 in a number. I'm going to equal it to something. Let's just equal it to 20. Okay, now it's an equation, and then what we're going to get to is solving for these equations. Alright, so instead of just 5n, the expression by itself, 5n equals what? Okay? And same thing, n plus 3 equals what? Okay? So now all these went from expressions to equations because we showed that equality. I'll be right back. I have to do something real quick. Okay? So the equations are what show equality. So the statements that show inequality mean that they aren't equal. N, that prefix, means not, so not equal. Okay, so these are a mathematical sentence that says 2 expressions are not equal. 1 of 4 inequality symbols, you've probably seen these before, is used to show the expressions are not the same. Okay, so we can see things like less than, greater than, less than, or equal to, greater than, or equal to. Sorry, that's kind of small. Let me zoom in on that. Okay, so these are 4 symbols you might see, and then of course, when you have the equal sign, that's when it's an equation. Okay, remember you can pause this if you need to catch up on that writing. So what does that look like? So instead of having 2y minus 8 equal 20, 2y minus 8 might be less than 20. Okay, so what will happen is we'll solve it the same way, but now our variable for y, whatever it is, it's saying it could be numbers less than that. But we'll get into more of those a little bit later. So instead of 5n equaling 15, we could do 5n might be greater than 15. Instead of n plus 3 equal to 9, the equality for that could be n plus 3 is less than or greater than, or sorry, less than or equal to 9. And instead of 10, in parentheses 9 divided by 4 equal to 5, this could be greater than 5. Okay? These are just inequalities, so it's showing things that are not equal. So we'll be finding out when we solve these variables later down the road what can make these not equal. Because when we solve for them straight up, that's what they will equal to make the equation balanced and equal. But we want to figure out how to make them not equal. Okay, so now we're going to use this page to just go through this practice. Okay? Identify whether each statement is an expression, equation, or inequality by putting a mark in the appropriate box. Okay, so to help me out, I'm going to put like expressions are like 2 plus a number. Equations would be 2 plus a number equals 4. That equal sign is our key. Inequality would be 2 plus a number is less than 5. Okay, and that is our showing inequality. We want n to be something, so it has to be less than that number. Okay, so we'll just go through a couple together, and today you'll just finish this, and I'll give you one more task. So, 18 minus 9. Okay, so I'm going to look for things like inequality signs or equal signs, and it has neither, and it's just numbers, so that is an expression. So don't get it confused because there's no variable, that it's not an expression. It's, remember our definition? It says just numbers, symbols, and operation. It doesn't have to be anything more than that. So just an expression. Okay? 12 is greater than x. Alright? A little trick that I used before is think about this as either an alligator or Pac-Man. Okay, Pac-Man and alligators want to eat a larger number. Okay, so that's how we know it's greater than. Okay, so this is red 12 greater than x. Okay, there's a symbol here, so it's not an expression, right? When there's an equal sign or inequality sign, not an expression. Okay, there's no equal sign, so it's not that. Nope, nope. So it is an inequality, right? We use greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. So you're going to be looking for those 4 signs for equality. Okay, and then we have 17 minus 10 equals 7. Well, 17 minus 10 does equal 7. 7 does equal 7. It shows equality, so it is an equation. Okay, so today you're just going to go through and do 4 through 12. And then the last thing I want you to do is use our definition here for inequalities and write it, because now we can fill out one more part of our packet, and please put it here. Okay, so again, we're doing 4 through 12 and fill this definition out based off what we wrote there. Okay, so then by the end of this you should have equation filled out and inequality. As always, please let me know if you have any questions. Have a great day.